All set.
Okay, it's Carol Bird calling the meeting to order at 7:01 p.m. And so we have minutes from last month.
I'll make a
Anyone
motion
want
to approve the minutes.
I'll second.
Sorry, that was Amy.
In favor.
Okay. All right, then we just
Okay.
have if Laura's in agreement, we have director support.
Okay, so the financial report first. So we had a deposit of $481.99 in our users fee account. That was 415 of that, which because normally we haven't been collecting much in fines. $415 of that was from the historical commission. We printed the Crimfield comments in-house at the library, and so they just pay the actual cost of the copier fees and the toner for printing. So it was kind of a in-town swap deal, but the money went to us, what it cost us to print them. Our gift fund had a deposit of $746.39. $150 it was in memory of Barbara Lamoureux. I think I shared with you guys that Barbara, one of our longtime volunteers, passed away last month. And the Friends reimbursed us $596.39 for the monthly bills that they're paying, which is the hotspots, the copier, and the program supplies. As far as bill payment, we had 2 batches. One was on January 20th, and I'm just going to read through the amounts and the categories. Books and periodicals, $5,294.40. Gas, $1,801.80. Equipment maintenance costs, $81.98. The gift fund, $322.33. Building maintenance costs, $935. Professional development, $130. Office supplies, $147.67. Janitorial supplies, $319.45. Technical maintenance services, $1,708.33 for a total of $10,740.96. The February 3rd batch was $34.38 in building maintenance supplies. Books and periodicals was $1,748.80. The gift fund, $44.95. Building maintenance costs, $824.47. Office supplies, $405.21. Janitorial supplies, $110.32. And technical maintenance services, $366.87 for a total of $2,710.53. So that's the financial report. My report, I just looked at the state numbers for today, and it was 6.17%. So we're still in the red. It is trending lower, but we're not down to 5 yet. So we're not in the yellow. So if it does go yellow next week, we'd be opening the week of March 1st. If it takes a little longer, we're still 2 to 3 weeks out from opening, depending on when the town goes yellow. But it has been trending down like 1% every week for the last 4 weeks. So it was up as high as 10.44, and it's down to 6.17. So it needs to be under 5, and then 2 weeks of staying under 5 for us to reopen. We really haven't had a whole lot of pushback. Actually, on Monday, Dennis Frayne stopped by. He picked up a Wi-Fi hotspot, and he was looking at the curbside cart, and it was pretty full that day. And he's like, "Oh, it's like Panera Bread. You come and you take your bag and you go." So, and he was, impressed, and he actually mentioned it in the department head meeting how much stuff there was that on the cart. So that was good. People are seeing what we're doing. So that's the, we won't be reopening until we're yellow. The DVD collection project is going really well. I'd say they're probably 80% done with that. It's going to be so much easier and faster to find a DVD with 2 letters instead of 1 letter. So that's moving forward. They started calling the seniors, so a few staff members. They're very appreciative of the phone calls. They really don't want much from us. They're like, "No, I'm good, I'm fine." But they're just appreciative that we're reaching out. So that's going well. And each staff member has picked an area of the library to start shelf reading and organizing to make things look all pretty for when we finally really are able to reopen. Just making sure all the shelves are faced off and that the books on those shelves are in the right order. Our 2021 budget, which is this one, we're 61.5% through the year, and we spent 61.1% of the money. Part-time payroll will probably be going to the state aid probably by early March. I think there's still a decent amount of money left in it. we're spending, I think we're spending about $800 a week on it, and there's 3,800 left. So we've got a couple more weeks that we can run out of that. And we do have 23,000 in the state aid fund, $967.70 in the user fee, and 3,800 in the gift fund. And we should be getting our state aid in April, the full amount. The March meeting, at the February meeting of the Board of Library Commissioners, they read through all of the waiver people. They did the hearings for the libraries that were cut more than 10%. I think there were 4 or 5 of those, and they should be sending it they'll be approving them at their March meeting, and then they process the checks. And we're just going to get one check that should be approximately $26,000. So that will boost up our state aid to help pay for part-timers for next year. The rest of the budget is, and I'll talk a little more about the budget when I get to the repair that's required of the HVAC system, the boiler, and how we're going to manage that, and the electricity too, because that's a little bit kind of wonky. So I met with Mary and Dennis to talk about next year's budget, and we were talking about the electricity line, which we never know how much. We can't really budget because we don't know how much the sun's going to shine, because we get a credit for the solar credit. So it's really hard for us to predict what our bill is going to be. So I knew there were some libraries or some places that the town just pays those utility bills and it's not part of your budget. So I talked to the MBLC. So for next year, the electricity line won't be in our budget. The town will just pay our electric bill. And so they were able to reduce, what they did is they took the last 3 years, took what we were budgeted for electricity out of it, and redid the allocation for the MAR. So our MAR that will be $563,000 instead of, would have been 606 with the electricity in it. So they kind of just did some reworking of the numbers. We're still not going to meet the MAR next year, even with, because once that number is taken out, the expense is also taken out. So, but it will simplify me planning for the budget. Like this year, Mary just sent me an email that they're doing some calculations and they're going to get me the new number as to what we have left in the electricity line. So I can't, before it was always in the summer we used between $500 and $700 a month, and in the winter it was about $2,000 a month. And I know that, but solar tends to be better. The sun shines better in the winter. You get more. So it's just hard to predict. So they're going to take it out of us and they're just going to pay it, which will make it a lot easier. So the 2022 budget that I gave you has the revised amounts with the electricity removed. And because the number is lower, we don't have to spend as much on books and periodicals. It's $300,000 less. So I moved that out of books and periodicals and I moved it up to one of the payroll lines. So we'll need less state aid to pay for payroll. So it was just tweaking some numbers based on the reality of what we're doing with tweaking this to make it work better for everybody. And she was thrilled too, because she doesn't have to, they'll just get one more bill to pay. They don't have to figure out who gets it and what our percentage is on it. So that's the updates that were made to the 2022 budget. I don't know if you guys want to vote on it. I mean, it is changing what you submitted. This is what is going to the selectmen on the 20th. So I don't know if you want to vote to approve the changes that we made with the CFO. What do you guys think?
I'll make a motion to approve the
Okay.
budget as presented with the changes made.
I'll second that. All in favor?
Aye.
Sorry, my mouse was stuck in favor.
Okay, so it still does. Okay, so that's that part of the budget. Oh, so the HVAC system, the chiller project is out to bid right now. It went out on February 3rd, and the bids are due back on the 24th. I have actually one company coming tomorrow to look at it before they bid. So the bids are going to Mike Roach, who does the bidding for the school department. He's there. They've turned it over to him. They know the bidding process way better than we do. So he's taking care of that. He wrote the specs for the bid because they do these things, way more than we do. So the bids will be opened on February 24th. As soon as they're opened, and they verify that the winning bidder meets all the qualifications they need to meet, we'll be signing a contract. And then the bid requires that the project be completed by May 31st. So hopefully we won't have a big heat wave before May 31st. But if we do, we'll have to have a couple of warm days until it's installed. So then the next thing this is with the boilers, the town insurance company does an annual inspection of the boilers. And it came back with 3 things that need to be addressed before they can issue a certificate of inspection. One of them is serious. It's not serious, it's just expensive. The quote we got for it was $6,000 from the first company. We have a second company giving us an estimate on it. Dennis is totally aware of this. I think we'll have enough money in our own budget, because I think with the electricity credits we're going to get, and we had built in $4,000 for HVAC maintenance that we haven't paid, like a quarterly bill that we haven't paid this year. So I think we'll be able to, if it is just the $5,000 or $6,000, we'll be able to handle it and pay it out of our own budget without impacting anything. We don't have to spend all of our money on books and periodicals this year, because the state has waived that line. And right now we still have $30,000 left in that account too. And we're coming down. So I'm going to wait and see what the final estimate is and talk to Dennis about what line items we should work on paying it out of. But I think we're all set. It's got to be fit. It's basically, we had to report back to them what we were doing, and it has to be fixed within 1 year. So it's either pay it out of this year's budget when we have the money, or next year. So I think it just makes sense to do it this year while we have the money and get it fixed. Basically, the picture I sent you guys the report, right? It's the one on the second page. It's this gasket thing that is just rusted and it needs to be replaced. The one above it had already been replaced. I think we did that a few years ago. So they're going to get that replaced, and then it will meet thing. And I think the town knows that it's, we're talking a year or two before we have to talk about replacing the boilers too, which I think they knew from day one. But I think with the budgets being so tight there, it's probably better to spend $6,000 now and push it out a year or two to replace the whole system. So that's going to
Which was
happen.
the boiler system to replace total? I know we talked about it.
The rough estimate they gave us was we have two boilers. It was 30,000 each, and then
Yikes.
replace them one at a time. So yeah.
Yikes.
So but that'll be capital. We'll go to the town meeting for those when that happens. But I think since we do have the money flexibility in our budget this year, if we just pay for the repair, that'll be a good thing for us to do, a good faith to toward next, and then we'll save more state aid and other things for next year.
I agree.
So once we get the second quote, we're waiting for the second quote on that. Once we get it, we'll just hire one of the, whichever will come. Well, ENE is the company that gave us the $6,000 quote. And we've been getting quotes from Victory Heating also. So we'll see what Victory's comes back at, and one of the two of them will do the work. The MBLC is starting, actually, they're starting to do a lot of programs. They're doing some for friends, they're doing some for trustees. Now that everyone is using these virtual platforms, it's a lot easier for them to get people to attend things than, when you guys did your trustee trainings, you had to go to I don't know, wherever you guys went, to get in a car and go somewhere. I think it's a lot easier for them to do topic-based things for trustees and friends online. So they're calling them trustee deep dives. And they have a space planning one in February, and then they're going to do them periodically. So Carol and I had a brief conversation about, it might be good if one person attended, one trustee attended each one and reported back to the group as what the topic was about and how they think it might apply to our library. They're doing the same topic twice a month. I think they're doing it once during the day and once in the evening, so they can reach different people. So I guess the discussion tonight is, do you guys want to wait to see what the topic is and what the timeline is, and then say who's going to do it? Or do you want to just pick months and sign up for them? And that's up to you guys to work out the details of how.
I'd rather wait for the topics
Yep.
and the dates.
I agree.
Okay. So what I'll do each month is I'll send out when I get them. I don't know, do you guys get these emails too?
I think so.
You might get it. I'll just send them as a
many of
reminder. So there's so many of them. I'll send them. I'll forward them. That way they're and then you can just among yourself decide who's going to listen in on each one. The space planning, I don't think we have much to really do on that, because we kind of we've done most of our spaces. But you never know what kind of ideas you can get by listening to what someone else has to say. So so the February ones are it's next Tuesday, from 6 to 7, or Wednesday from 10 to 11, Wednesday the 24th from 10 to 11. So I'll send that out. I'll just send that out again tomorrow, and one of you can decide. You can decide who's going to do it. I'll just email it to everybody with the details. Okay.
God bless you, Carol.
Thank you.
I have the statistics for this month. Our circulation is down. I'm not surprised. It definitely shows that having the building open, we did more than 1,000 more items in. If you look, October, we were open August, September, and October, and we went up every month. Although November was down a little, and that's probably because there were 3 days we were closed because of between Veterans Day and Thanksgiving. And then it went down in December because we closed to the public. So being open, I think, really does impact the, people do come in and pick things up. Well, we found when people are requesting things, they're requesting 2 or 3 items. If they're in person, they often take 5, 6, or 7 items. So it's a different, it's a different dynamic when people are in person.
Bernadette, are any of the other area libraries open? Milford closed.
Milford opened on Monday.
They
They
did
just
open
opened
back up?
yesterday. They opened on Monday. They reopened on
Okay.
Monday. I don't know anyone else around us who's open at all. No, yeah.
Just curious.
And I think, I wouldn't be surprised. Hopkinton was open for a while. They closed eventually. They were open for a while, but I think they're one of those by appointment libraries that doing things by appointment. So there's the only one that I know that's open in our area is Milford. And actually, Milford went into the yellow today. Their rates are better than Bellingham's
Wow.
right now. Yeah, they went into the yellow today. So we're not the only ones that aren't open by any stretch. And then our average circ per day, the highest month was November of 239. January was 121. So it's like half. In-person attendance, it was not in January. Our circulation overall is 64% of what it was all of last year, and that's still counting April, May, and June with 0. So it's going to be a lot lower. Ebook circulation is up, but it's only up 13%. So that's not making up for the 36% that we're down in regular book circulation. Based on Amy's request from last month for teen programming, we're going to be having a gaming night for kids school vacation week. The friends will be paying for, it's a guy out of Plainville that does online gaming with a Discord server and something else, and we're getting the details on how that's going to work out. But
I was actually surprised they didn't get more people for the SAT class.
Yeah, I think she had 13 or 14.
Yeah.
I think people are kind of zoomed out. That's why we want to do something fun for the kids. Well, last night she had the presidential landmarks in New England. She had 11 for that. She had 15 registered and 11 showed up. That was an inexpensive program. It was only $50. So
We had 7. Sorry, we had 7 in the writers group, and I know Cecily had asked. I don't think it's reflected in her numbers, but
right. We're also looking. We're doing starts this month. We're doing some programs for job seekers. We found someone that's doing one for us free, and then we're doing 2 more. So they're doing like a basic job searching. Then they're doing one on LinkedIn and one on resumes. So we have one in February, one in March, one in April. I hope those. I think if we spread those, if we don't get registration. If we make Facebook events and spread them far and wide, I think we can get lots of people to come to those. We also have a first-time home buyers seminar that one of our local mortgage companies is doing for us in March too. So trying to find some free things to do, but and things that are relevant. I think the job seeking stuff is a good idea. So we've got someone to do those. That is all that I have. Do you guys have anything?
Nicole, did you hear from Sue? I'm worried about her.
She didn't check in.
I haven't heard from Sue. I heard from her yesterday and she was like, see you tomorrow at the trustee meeting. So
okay.
I know she knew.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I'm
I know
worried
she knew
about her.
about it.
Yeah.
I have a question. Did we ever go forward with buying the Tower Hill Botanical?
No, we didn't buy anything yet. I'm going to bring to next month's Friends meeting my recommendations of what we buy for the spring. Yeah, that probably will be on it. The big debate is, do they get Southwick? Because Southwick will be used, but it's expensive. It's $1,000 for 50 passes. So they have to decide if they want to spend that kind of money. And I can understand if they don't, because they're not getting a whole lot of income. But they might be better to get some of the smaller ones that are less expensive. Tower Hill, we talked about Tower Hill. We talked about I forget what it was, the Blythewell Mansion in Bristol, Rhode Island has an outdoor garden kind of spaces. So trying to get more outdoor things for the spring. And then
There's the Heritage Museum down in Sandwich too, which is outdoors.
Oh, that's another one. Yeah.
beautiful.
Yeah, that's because people will go to the Cape or something. That's a good idea. I'll look at that too. We're just trying to make I want to make recommendations to, and then they'll decide what they want to spend their money on, but they're really not getting any income. So it's, you know, it's a tough thing to ask them to spend a lot of money when they're not getting a whole lot of money in. But the best thing about the Southwick ones is they are used, and each one is one day. It's not like we buy the Museum of Science, you get 365 passes or whatever. And if no one shows up for a day, you're just throwing that one away. You know, the way Southwick works is that one is good on any day for one entry. So I might look for more museums that have that kind of model that makes it more sense. You're not paying for stuff that just doesn't end up being used. Right now, the only two we have available are the aquarium is open and the Museum of Fine Arts is open. And those are passes that we purchased before last year before, you know.
We don't have the Trustees one anymore?
No, I think that expired. I think, well, I don't know if that
like
expired.
that one.
I don't know if that one expired or not, but that's for another one we'll probably renew because it wasn't
They had a lot of
expensive,
outdoor things.
and they have outdoor venues, right? Yeah, but they just made a decision in November not to renew anything till the spring because there weren't a lot of places to go and a lot of things to do. And actually, all the museums shut down in just December anyway. They were all ordered to shut down, so there was no place to go as far as the traditional museums. So I'm going to look at those to bring them to the March trustee meeting. So if they can order things, and by before April vacation, we'll be ramped up and ready to go for whatever people. We have it at people this week. A couple people do for next week the aquarium. I think we checked out we have 2 aquarium passes going out next week because for school vacation week. So there are some people that are going to those things, but yeah, it's just not. I mean, the numbers are way down. I think the highest month we had was 9. And like the normal high month is 130, you know, so it's it's not. But we will look at getting those ramped up for the spring.
I actually like the Worcester Art Museum better than the Museum of Fine Arts. And it's closer and easier to get to.
Yeah, it is really.
That's
nice.
actually my favorite museum.
I haven't been there in years.
Yeah, they got some of the armory stuff, didn't they?
Yeah.
it's
So
even
fun.
yeah.
We used to
more
do
robust.
a field trip every year, but we haven't done any field trips this year or
Yeah.
last year, but it's nice. The kids can touch things and
Yeah.
Yeah.
they have docents that are free.
Not right now, they can't touch things.
Well,
They
normally
can't
we
now,
can.
obviously, but you know, when you do go, all the field trips I went on, the kids were able to
Yeah.
it was a hands-on museum and it wasn't as stuffy and
When we were doing
true.
some of the STEM stuff, I went to, I forget what it's called. It was in Fall River. It was a museum for little kids where like they were just like they had like a sandbox with like fake archaeology things, and the kids had to take brushes and like pretend they were like, you know, little archaeologists digging for things. It was really a well done, like young kid, you know, hands-on museum. And I think there's one in Acton too, in the Easton.
there's one in Acton and there's one in Easton.
There's a
Yeah.
whole bunch of kids. Yeah. So
They don't allow a lot of people in at once,
right. Well,
from what I can recall.
and it's probably less even now.
Yeah.
So yeah. But yeah, I'm gonna go through the full list and make recommendations, and we'll definitely have some stuff up by, you know, mid-April when the weather starts getting nice and people are able to get outside and do things.
Amy, I'm impressed you're not out of breath.
I'm walking very slow.
I don't know. You've been moving a half an hour.
That's the ticket. You walk very slow. So I have one last comment, Bernadette. I wondered if Cecily or Amanda or anyone had looked at doing any mindfulness or mental health kind of Zoom sessions. Since
We
that's
haven't
an
really,
idea.
yeah, we haven't really.
Seems like that might be something well attended or well needed. Just an idea.
That might be, that's not a bad idea.
Personally, I know that I could benefit from something like that.
Yeah, I don't know. That's one of those we could put something out to see if anyone's hired someone that went well and take it from there. Yeah.
All right.
And if we do it now, it'll be April before we can offer it. It'll be like, we're 1 year into this. Do you need
Everyone's
to calm
on the
down?
ledge right now. Yeah. Maybe it's just me.
No.
Amy, if
No.
you're having an emergency, Brown University has free sessions. I think it's Wednesday afternoons from 12 to 1. You can sign up
All right,
and
we'll
it's
talk.
free.
No, that's a good idea though, trying to think things to get, that's not a bad idea. I wonder if I don't know if like the guy, when we did some of the guy, the chiropractor, what's his name? Dr. Tim, whatever, he had some kind of like meditation things too at the same time. So I'll look into it, see if we can find someone local. It's always
Just
preferred
an
to get
idea.
someone local if you can. Yeah. Okay. Are we all set? So
I'm
motion.
good.
Yeah,
Okay,
motion.
all right.
We need a motion to adjourn.
Yes. Calling the meeting to a close at 7:26. Oh, we beat last week, month. I mean, good job.
Okay.
Good night.
Have a good
All right,
night.
see ya.
Bye.
Bye.